they're trying to kill us. And they tried last night, once again. Airport in the United States of America in Minneapolis, 2006, January 18th, attack left in a pool of blood in the middle of the aisle of an aircraft after my mother here was accused of a suspicious bag, put through a trial with CIA, FBI, NSA, and whatnot on the jury pool. Then family, friends, and associates terrorized her after with legal mail sabotage, FBI at home, erased voicemail messages, threats left on answering machines, whatnot, and so forth, and finally kidnapped by Winnipeg Police after our online exposure of Winnipeg Police associates in the United States within the Minneapolis Police on October 27, 2007, in an attempt to silence our online voice through my kidnapping, and wherein they failed on October 27, 2007, because we had managed to communicate with journalist Leslie Hughes, Canadian Dimension Magazine, CBC. They had made several other attempts, now 12, and wherein we did not have the evidence of their presence at our home prior, we have the evidence now in witnesses that will be testifying, that I will be displaying in this video in moments to come. And wherein on October 27th they had failed in their attempts, we have also now exposed them. October 27th, they mentioned when they came that Minneapolis, quote unquote, has unfinished business with you. Our boss says that perhaps we should lock you up long enough here for one of them to come up and get you. They were referring to Winnipeg Police Chief Keith McCaskill, a graduate of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Northwest Chapter Federal Bureau of Associates, and according to his bio again, with representation and jurisdiction in law enforcement in North Dakota, South Dakota, Minneapolis, where we were attacked, and Winnipeg, Manitoba, where he's currently practicing as the head of the Winnipeg Police Department. His influence over the United States is simply through affiliation, though, and has no legal jurisdiction. And when they came to my apartment to kidnap and abduct me, it was without warrant and without charges.
And again, that was on October 27th, 2007.
And October 27th, 2007. And what you're about to see before you is the witnesses to this attack. Again, the witness testimony is something that we have not had prior to this as far as the subsequent abduction attempts, but we have it now. August 31st, 2008. That August 31st evening that we came by, we were coming back to check on the apartment, as we periodically do. I've had to find alternate residents to stay because of the fact that there have been now so many kidnapping and murder attempts upon my person here. When we got back to check on the apartment this time, and nearly midnight of August 31st, the very first thing that we noticed as we were coming back is that there was a Winnipeg Police cruiser on the opposite side of the street. Eye contact was made with this Winnipeg Police cruiser, and he noticed that I was not alone and that I had company in family, in my mother, Linda James, standing here beside me now. And so the police cruiser left very quickly, and we wanted to know, to be sure that there was no mistaking the connection between the presence of that police cruiser and their intentions of harm upon our persons. And so we went across and looked at the area to speak to people who were in the general area, and we found some who were witness to what had taken place. And they told us again that the Winnipeg Police had been shining lights and flashlights into my building to take a look to see if they could see inside.
Into your apartment?
Into my very apartment on the front and the side, and had been questioning people standing out in the front, and they've been there for quite some time. My name is Aaron James. I'm standing here in the hallway to my apartment at 3900 Stradbrook, Winnipeg, Manitoba. I'm here the witness of a crime. The crime this time, however, being committed by the Winnipeg Police, the very people and the entity that we assume are there to uphold the law. Well, in fact, they've been breaking it. They've been attempting my murder. And this is the 12th occasion that we are aware of to this date. Again, Winnipeg Police exposed.blogspot.com for their contribution in working with the Minneapolis Police to cover this up, and on their behalf attempting my kidnapping or murder, or my kidnapping to the United States, now a total of 12 times where they've been here, inside this very building, outside my door, and that we did not have witness to the prior kidnapping attempts at this building prior. This time We do. And I'm standing here speaking to them right now at this very moment in time. And here are those same witnesses now. My mother, Linda James, who is standing outside this same door at my apartment, that being here, apartment 2. And a witness, this time, a witness. Whereas Winnipeg Police Chief Keith McCaskill has denied the presence of Winnipeg Police outside our home, has refused to meet with City Councillor Harvey Smith, and denied the August 5th, 2008 presence of July 5th, 2008 presence of 3 Winnipeg Police vehicles and 1 ghost car in the back lane outside my apartment. Well, they were also here, that I can attest to, outside my door, because I heard the beeps of their radios, and I've borne witness to their presence. They can no longer deny their presence.
I meet the witness. I am standing outside Aaron James' door. Upon witnessing of what I've seen outside with the Winnipeg Police, shining a flashlight to Aaron James' window. We will go to now.
And my mother here, who is also witness to it, standing inside before us. I'm now going to take us outside of the building, and these same witnesses, both my mother and independent witness, will point to what it is that they saw and describe the event as it unfolded. Here we are now, outside my apartment at 2-390 Stradbrook in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where there have been 12 kidnapping attempts upon my person. I'm standing outside my door, here and here, my mother and the independent witness of whom I spoke. And in fact, there are 2 independent witnesses. There's another independent witness in other video separate from this that is also available. And just to my right here, as I'm scanning over, and we're looking at the very window, my window here, just above the balcony, the front area, the courtyard of my apartment. The very window that I'm shining light on here is the same window that Winnipeg Police were shining light on here just moments, within about an hour ago at midnight, this morning of August 31st, 2008. And in fact, Winnipeg Police had gone outside and over to an adjoining building here as well, and to conduct further search. And now I'm going back to the witnesses at hand here in order that they can describe the account as they saw it unfolding before them. And if I can get the independent party with whom I spoke to speak now, as far as what she saw on this evening. And go ahead.
I saw
if you just wait a moment. And go ahead and speak in order that we can all hear very clearly. Go ahead.
I have seen a cop cruiser sit outside out of this building, and they walked out and they started shining flashlights to his window right here, and they started looking for him around this area, these 2 buildings next to his.
So you saw a flashlight outside my building, and if I can just get you to point again, if you can point that you saw, let's get a shot of that. Okay, that they're pointing to my window here. Okay, and that is my window here outside at 2-390 Stradbrook that they were shining this light to, the same one that I just panned over moments ago. And you said you also saw something else. You said that you observed them taking part in some other activity as well.
Yes, they have been they were speaking to some people outside of his apartment right here. They were asking them questions, but I didn't really know what they were asking because I didn't come over here and ask.
So they were asking questions to people outside my apartment, what looked like perhaps to gather information, although we can't be sure. And thank you for your statement and your testimony. And now speaking to my mother, who is here, who would tell us what it is she saw from her perspective at at the time, this evening?
This evening, we saw a police car parked on the street outside the apartment building, and when that, as we were arriving, the police car stayed parked briefly, and then after a few minutes drove away, and then that's when we asked witnesses in the immediate area what had taken place, and this is what we found.
Thank you very much. Anything you'd like further to add?
This is subsequent to an abduction attempt made on July 5th of this year, when 3 police cars and a ghost car were found in the back lane when I came here by taxi once I was made aware that the police were at Aaron's door. And when I arrived, at that point, as I went down the back lane in the taxi, one of the officers exclaimed loudly and quite unhappily, "And there she is," indicating that they recognized me as a concerned party with regard to their activities.
Thank you very much. And this will constitute the evidence that we need here at this time in order to expose the illicit corruption and the covert activities that they have been pursuing towards our harm for now the period of 11 months subsequent to the initial abduction attempt.